culture defines masculinity basically as the opposite of femininity. I think that we picture men, men shouldn't cry, men should be good at sports, men should be eating lots of meat, they should be really muscular, they should want to get into a fight with somebody. Generally, those are the things that come to my mind when I think of masculinity and how it's defined by our culture. I define my own masculinity. To be honest, it's not something I really think too much about. I sort of feel like it's not really that important to me, and I think that masculinity is a little more ambiguous as I define it, although I'm also a homosexual male. So when I think of masculine versus feminine men, at least in the context of gay culture, I see a lot of differences there. So I think, I personally prefer my partners to be more of, I guess, a masculine man. So I do certainly have some ideas about that, but it's not necessarily reflective of the broader culture. I believe I began to learn about masculinity as I was in high school, and I realized that I was not as masculine as most of the other guys that were my age. I never really liked sports. I didn't really like doing any of the things that the guys liked doing, and even younger than that, I didn't really like playing with trucks or, G.I. Joe or anything. I preferred to play with my sister's Barbie dolls. So at a very early age, I think I realized that I was sort of the opposite of what the culture around me defined masculinity as. I never felt that I was fighting with masculinity because I honestly never really cared about what other people thought about the image that I was putting out there, so I never put too much thought into it. I did feel as though, and even to this day I feel that perhaps I am challenging other people's masculinity because I'm obviously a man, but I'm not dealing with things in the same way that other masculine men would deal with things, and I think that I think I'm challenging their masculinity more than my own. I don't really know that I can think of any clear benefits to masculinity. I think that it's actually very problematic that there have to be these clear defined roles that men and women have to play into. I think it's just, really just reinforces this misogynistic culture that we live in. So I don't really see any clear benefit. If anything, I think it's probably more problematic than anything else, and I think people should maybe be a little more ambiguous about everything. I was speaking earlier about the gay culture and there being masculine gay men and then feminine gay men. So I am generally attracted to men that are more masculine. So therefore, typically men that are taller than me, muscular, hairy, pretty much, what we think of as a manly man. I'm not necessarily attracted to more effeminate gay men, even though I feel that, I myself am somewhere in between in the spectrum of feminine and masculine gay men. But I do think that even within gay culture, I see that there is still this kind of, misogynistic view that you have to be either you're a feminine gay man or you're masculine, and there's a lot of, I know, masculine gay men that won't date feminine gay men because they're too feminine. So I just think, again, it brings up, it's really problematic, I think, more than anything. I think it challenges the other man's masculinity, I think that there's something about it that makes them afraid because they don't understand it, or it's the opposite of what they feel being a man is. Obviously, we see this as sort of the root of homophobia among straight men as they perceive gay men, but I also even see it in the gay community, where the masculine men, a lot of times, not only are they not willing to date the feminine men, they don't want to be seen in public with them. I've heard comments such as, "Stop acting so gay, people are going to know we're gay if you're acting like that." And I think that that's another example, even within the gay culture, that even though both the men are gay, the feminine man is challenging the masculinity of the masculine gay man. So I see it as a problem. That I think that as a culture, we need to be moving more towards a more, more ambiguous roles regarding gender and sexuality. I just see it as really problematic when people have to be defined somewhere along a continuum, because it really is a continuum, and I think we should view it as such and not make it so that you have to either be on this side of it or that side of it, but that you could be anywhere in between, and you're not necessarily going to be judged because you're not all the way at one end or all the way on the other end. I think that we really, as a society, need to rethink that.